Hello, this is Patrick. Welcome to Chart Built Wealth, profitable investing with technical analysis. Well, market really rebounded big today. A lot of short covering. There were massive shorts going into Friday. Is it selling over? I'm not sure. Uh, I mm, I'm on the fence about that one, but overall, on a more intermediate term basis, I'm still bearish. But that's not the call for today. That's just something in the back of my mind. I've gone through all the reasons why. But what I wanted to, that doesn't mean that there isn't anything that's attractive. So I wanted to initiate on a new buy recommendation. I believe this is my seventh or eighth buy recommendation. They range from the iShares Commodity Index to Chevron to short the long Treasury, TBF, KWEB, the Chinese internet stocks, Brazil, the healthcare ETF, FXH, and then GameStop, GME. So the new buy recommendation is to buy Saudi Arabia, the equity market. And with that, let's get into it. So this is a long-term chart. This is well, I guess you'd call it an intermediate term chart, but you can see a gigantic pattern there starting in 2022. So it's one, two, three, 3.5 years in the making. So that's a really big pattern. It kind of reminds me of the iShares Commodity Index, GSG, which eventually broke out and has done quite well for us, which is heavy energy laden. And yes, Saudi Arabia is heavy energy laden. Um, and so this may be a beneficiary of that trend, but I'm just looking at this chart without a name on it. I don't care. I don't know enough about Saudi Arabia, even though I used to go there twice a year for probably 7 or 8 years. I don't know a lot about their economy now. I know it's more diversified, but this is a big pattern here, a symmetrical triangle with a resistance line, which we're hitting our head on right now, and the support line. And this thing's been getting wound tighter and tighter and tighter. So transparency here, for transparency, you can see that I tried to buy this one other time, and this triangle was drawn a little bit differently, and it's morphed into a clearer picture now. But I bought at 42 something and sold at 38, got stopped out at 38.56. So I think I lost close to 10% on this. So I've been watching it, waiting, and I think this is the time. So this pattern is not intact yet because it hasn't broken out. But like most of these, platinum is another example of a pattern similar to this, not quite as big. And I said, we got to buy it before it breaks out because when it does, it's going to go fast and furious, which is normally what happens the tighter that these things get wound up. The bears and the bulls are fighting, and the bears are shorting. And then when it breaks out of this, they got to cover, and it makes it go up faster, like the stock market today. So, what I like about this is it hit resistance. And then this week, it started right up near the high of the week. Intra-week, it sold off. And then by the end of the week, it was right back up to its high. So there was buyer support here that came in. The other thing I like about it is this cluster of moving averages all came together this week, last week actually. And so it looks like we had a type 2 retracement today where prices came back to that retracement. And if that's the case, they could be ready to take off. If not, maybe it comes back down and, goes down to 38.5 and tests it again. But if it does that, I'll buy more. So I bought some today. I'll buy more if it goes down. The other thing I liked about this week's price action was it filled this gap. You see the gap up, and then you see intra-week, it came down and closed that gap. So all that stuff looks good to me. And I want to take a look at the point and figure. I got my stop at 37.5. So you got, I don't know, about 4 to 5% potential risk. And your upside, if you measure the base of this triangle and project that distance upward, you come up with a $53 price projection, which is 30% plus higher. So, 13 points up and what is it? 40, 3 points down. So the reward to risk is 4 to 1, maybe even a little more. That's really attractive. So let's look at the point and figure chart, which is not as subjective as the chart that I just showed you, where I had to redraw the triangle when I got stopped out the last time. And after watching it develop, I had to redraw those trend lines. This is just supply and demand. This is X's and O's. You can't really finagle much on a point and figure chart. First of all, bullish trend line. That's always important. Really like that. And you can see up here how far away it was from its support line, from its bullish trend line. And by going sideways, it's kind of let its its support line rise up as support at a closer level and kind of worked off this overbought area. That's a sign of strength. And this is a huge consolidation. I mean, and look at how tight it is. It's a pretty tight range. So it did break out back last year. That's probably when I bought it. And then it kind of fooled around and went down, and now it's back up to challenge that. But the bullish price projection is intact, and that is 51, which is kind of right in the landing area of what my subjective chart was on the previous chart of 53. So they're both in unison. I really like that, and this looks good to me. So, thank you for watching Chart Built Wealth, Profitable Investing with Technical Analysis. Please like and subscribe. Tell anybody you know that might have an interest. That would be helpful. And you have a great weekend.